Let me hit you with a hard truth right out of the gate. You could give her the world, buy the gifts, pay the bills, solve every problem, and still, she could leave you like none of it ever mattered. And you'd be left asking, after everything I did for her, why? Here's the answer most men never hear. Women aren't loyal to your actions, your wallet, or your words. They're loyal to how they feel in your presence. That's the one thing, the only thing. And if you don't understand this, you'll keep giving everything and getting nothing back. Let's break this down into 5 crucial truths. Most men grow up believing that the key to a woman's heart lies in doing things for her, buying gifts, solving problems, always being available, constantly proving their value. But here's the truth. None of that guarantees emotional loyalty. What truly captivates a woman is not what you do for her, but how you lead her emotionally. Emotional leadership isn't about control or dominance, it's about being centered, present, and confident in your own direction. It's the ability to guide the emotional tone of interactions, to be a rock when things get turbulent, and to remain calm even when she tests your strength. A woman doesn't want a servant, she wants a man she can respect. A man who knows who he is, where he's going, and doesn't break under pressure. If your value in her life is based solely on the things you do for her, she will eventually find someone else who can do the same, or more. But if your value is based on how you make her feel emotionally safe, challenged, and inspired, you become irreplaceable. Women are deeply intuitive. They respond to energy more than logic. If your energy feels needy, insecure, or overly accommodating, she might take what you give, but she won't feel drawn to you. When a man leads with calm, clarity, and presence, she relaxes into her femininity. She stops feeling the need to control, test, or doubt. She follows, and that's the dynamic she actually craves, even if she won't admit it. So if you're trying to win her loyalty through effort alone, you're playing the wrong game. Shift from doing to leading. Be the man who sets the tone, not the one constantly trying to meet her shifting standards. That's when she feels it. That's when she stays. A hard truth that many men eventually face is this: you cannot buy genuine desire. No matter how much you do for her, how generous you are, or how consistently you show up, none of it can force her to feel the kind of deep, primal attraction that truly bonds her to you. Desire doesn't come from obligation or kindness. It's not created through logic or reason. It comes from something far more subtle and instinctual: your presence, your energy, your sense of self-worth. When a man tries to buy affection with gifts, attention, or problem solving, he often ends up placing himself in a weaker position. He becomes the man trying to prove himself, rather than the man she naturally gravitates toward. And what's even more frustrating, often, the guy who does less but carries himself with self-respect, emotional detachment, and confidence is the one who holds her attention. Women want to feel a man's strength, not in how much he gives, but in how he carries himself. They are drawn to the mystery, the confidence, the sense of independence. When a woman senses that you value yourself, that you're not trying to win her approval, it flips a switch inside her. Suddenly, you become a challenge, a man with options, a man she has to earn. That creates genuine desire. But if you show up with the mindset of, I'll prove myself worthy by doing everything for her, you will most likely become predictable, safe, and eventually invisible. You can't trade effort for attraction. You must embody the traits that trigger emotional and physical desire: certainty, self-assurance, and purpose. When you lead with those, she feels the difference. She stops calculating what you've done and starts wondering how to keep your attention. That's when real connection begins. A woman may enjoy your kindness, your attention, and the comfort you provide. But what she stays loyal to, what she truly commits to, is how she feels when she's around you. Emotions drive her decisions far more than logic. She could list all the great things you do for her, but if deep down she doesn't feel inspired, challenged, or emotionally alive, she'll slowly disconnect without even realizing why. This is why you see so many men doing everything right and still getting left behind. The reality is, women crave emotional experiences. They want to feel something real: excitement, passion, admiration, even tension at times. If you're always playing it safe, always making things comfortable, you can easily become the guy who's nice but not desired. Being emotionally predictable may make you dependable, but it won't ignite the emotional spark that keeps her drawn to you. You have to be willing to express who you are, even if it creates friction. You have to have standards, even if she doesn't always agree with them. This doesn't mean being toxic or playing games. It means not suppressing your truth just to keep her happy. It means showing up authentically, calm, confident, and occasionally mysterious. When a woman can feel that you're grounded in your own emotional world, that you're not constantly adjusting yourself to gain her approval, it commands her attention. She begins to feel the dynamic that triggers loyalty, not because you told her to stay, but because your energy makes her want to. Ultimately, it's not what you give that keeps her close, it's what she feels in your presence. And if she feels emotionally alive, respected, and subtly challenged by you, she won't want to be anywhere else. That's the kind of emotional impact that no material gesture can compete with. Women are not loyal to what you do. They're loyal to how they see you. And what defines how they see you comes down to how you see yourself. When a man walks through life with confidence, direction, and self-respect, it changes how everyone reacts to him, especially women. They pay attention to how grounded you are, how you carry yourself, and how easily you can say no when something doesn't align with your values. That energy is magnetic. If you constantly make yourself available, always trying to please or avoid conflict, you begin to lose that edge. You might believe that your efforts will win her over, but what really happens is that she starts to view you as replaceable. The more you seek her approval, the more she senses you're unsure of your own worth, and that slowly chips away at the attraction. When you're clear about who you are and what you want, women feel that. It doesn't mean you have to be cold or distant, but it does mean you shouldn't be so eager to prove your value. Let your energy speak louder than your words. Let your silence, your boundaries, and your purpose communicate who you are. The irony is, the less you chase, the more they pay attention. When she sees that your life isn't built around trying to win her, but rather living fully as a man with passion and direction, she feels that instinctive pull. That's what keeps her loyal. Not obligation, not effort, but the image she has of you in her mind. When you become the kind of man she can admire, respect, and feel drawn to emotionally, mentally, and physically, loyalty stops being a question. It becomes a natural response to your presence. One of the hardest truths for men to accept is that emotional detachment often increases attraction. Women are not drawn to men who are always chasing, pleasing, and proving themselves. They're drawn to men who remain grounded, focused, and calm, especially in the face of distance or uncertainty. When a woman senses that you don't need her approval to feel valuable, it triggers something deep. She starts to wonder why you're so centered. Why aren't you reacting? Why aren't you chasing like the rest? This doesn't mean being indifferent or treating her poorly. It means holding your ground emotionally. It means having the self-respect to remain unshaken when she pulls away, tests your boundaries, or goes silent. If you panic and chase, it tells her that your confidence is fragile. But if you stay composed and continue living your life, she feels the emotional strength that so few men display. That kind of calm, quiet detachment is powerful. It tells her you're not afraid to be alone, that you value yourself enough not to beg for attention. And ironically, That's what makes you stand out. That's what creates curiosity, admiration, and eventually desire. When you stop over-explaining yourself, stop checking in every minute, and instead focus on your goals, passions, and purpose, you become more than a man seeking her validation. You become a man she wants to earn the attention of. Emotional self-control is the mark of a high-value man. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about truly being at peace with who you are, regardless of her actions. And when she feels that kind of steady presence, that emotional backbone, she realizes she's dealing with someone rare. That's when loyalty, respect, and real connection start to build. And it all starts with you not needing her to feel complete. So stop overgiving. Start leading emotionally. Make her feel something she can't fake. And watch how loyalty starts to flow, not from what you give, but from who you are. That's the only game that works long term.